Mad Square Art presents commissioned sculpture by distinguished artists to the public. It's free, and it's really a platform for artists to show their work to so many people in a great urban center like New York City. When you come upon Big Bling by Martin Puryear in Madison Square Park, the scale is the first thing that you notice. It's awe-inspiring to see a 40-foot tall sculpture in our midst, and people have been mesmerized by not only the form of the sculpture, but the very profound meaning that's also associated with it. Big Bling is part abstraction, part animal form, and part intellectual meditation. Martin calls it a construction, but he also calls it a portrait of New York. And I think because it's on a site that is trafficked every day by about 60,000 people, there's an incredible opportunity to think of it in a human context, but also in an urban context. It's unusual for Martin Puryear to use a vernacular like the word bling in titling his sculpture. He thought that it was an especially pertinent title given the setting of New York City to conjure a word that has roots in 1990s hip-hop. That shackle is really a form of enormous complexity and contradiction. It beckons you visually because it's shimmering, it's luminous, it's something that we see in local references in the crowns or the cupola of the buildings right around Madison Square Park. But it's also a shackle. The form is associated with constraint, restraining people, restraining animals. The artist wanted the gold shackle to be facing towards the Flatiron Building, and the back of the sculpture faces towards the Empire State Building. So there are these two remarkably distinguished American landmarks that are somehow in dialogue with the sculpture. Martin also conceived this work with something of an architectural vocabulary. The geometry of the windows and the buildings surrounding the park are in great conversation with Big Bling. There are stories or layers in the plywood, but we can't enter those stories. They're obstructed by chain link, a material that protects people who are on the inside, but it also repels or restrains people who are on the outside. Martin doesn't give direct interpretation to his sculpture. He wants the work to speak for itself, and it really falls to the viewer to interpret how they want to conceive a meaning or a message. But I think when you confront a work of public art in a park setting like Madison Square Park, it should really change how you think about your everyday.